Happy holidays and welcome to the Brunswick Beat,
Brunswick County's only television news show brought to you by the Brunswick Beacon. I'm Rachel Johnson.
And I'm Caroline Curran. Stephen Myers, 21, of Cary, was found dead in his jail cell on December 23rd. Brunswick County Sheriff John Ingram said a preliminary investigation found Myers died of self-inflicted asphyxiation. Myers was on suicide watch when he was booked at the detention center on December 20th, but a physician released him back into the general population at the jail. At the request of both Ingram and District Attorney John David, the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation is investigating the death. The last time an inmate committed suicide while in custody in Brunswick County was in 2005.
SBI agents are also investigating a shooting involving a sheriff's deputy on December 26th. Casey Thomas, 43, was in the process of trying to stab her husband, Timothy Thomas, 48. When deputies arrived, they ordered her to drop her weapon. When she didn't, Sergeant Brian Tully fired 2 shots with his service weapon. Casey Thomas sustained a gunshot wound to her abdomen. Timothy Thomas also sustained a gunshot wound to his upper right leg, in addition to a stab wound in his upper back area. All injuries were considered to be non-life-threatening. Ingram has requested SBI agents conduct a criminal investigation into the shooting. The sheriff's office is also conducting an internal investigation. Tully is on paid administrative leave pending the results of the investigation. Domestic violence and assault charges are pending against Casey Thomas.
In the fleeting moments it took for their house to go up in flames, Frances and Nathaniel Stevenson lost everything. Around 2 a.m. Tuesday, December 20th, a fire began at Stevenson's home on Ward Road in Longwood. When fire crews arrived, the Stevensons' home was completely engulfed in flames. Everyone escaped without any major injuries. Nathaniel Stevenson was burned on the back of his head, but Frances said he's since been released from the hospital.
2 weeks and 2 days after his December 5th swearing in, new Sunset Beach Mayor Richard Serrato is being reined in. At a specially urgently called meeting December 21st, Sunset Beach Town Council unanimously voted that the authority of the mayor not be expanded at this time beyond that granted by the laws of the state of North Carolina. The action came at the end of an intense hour-long meeting during which all 5 town council members spoke out about Serrato's behavior during the prior 2 weeks. Mayor Pro Tem Lou DeVita read a statement outlining specific incidents involving Serrato that the board deemed violations of his authority. They say he inappropriately intervened over the use of an empty store building by Brunswick Family Assistance and improperly promised that the town would fix potholes on a private road in Sea Trail. Let's take a look at Councilmember Carol Scott as she questioned Serrato at the meeting.
I would hope that as the months go on, that we can all establish a good working relationship, that we all regain our trust in each other, and that we move forward in a positive way.
I understand the den that I'm in. It was 60% of the people who voted mandated my election. I work for them.
Are you hearing anything we're saying?
No.
Seriously,
Carol.
I'm sorry, Rich. You know I've been as positive as possible. Are you hearing anything we're saying?
Yes, I am.
It makes no difference who elected us. It is what our responsibilities are and what our limitations are.
I understand.
It has no difference.
I understand that.
What are your legal limitations, and are you?
You know what they are?
I'm asking you.
Well,
Like I said, if the town is not going to fix the pothole, I will fix it myself.
The seafood capital of Calabash is remembering one of its longtime restaurateurs. Virgil Tinky Coleman of Coleman's original Calabash Seafood and Calabash Seafood Hut passed away December 20th at the age of 75 after a long battle with cancer. Coleman was remembered by friends and family at his funeral on December 22nd. They said he was a family man who rode out Hurricane Hazel on his family's shrimp boat in the Calabash River back in October 1954.
Detectives with the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office are searching for Chad Brumley, 36, who was last seen in the Leland area. Brumley is 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighs 150 pounds. He has brown hair and hazel eyes. He does not have a vehicle and usually travels on foot. He is also possibly wearing blue jeans and gray Nike tennis shoes. His last contact by phone was on Christmas Day. Anyone with information about Brumley or his whereabouts is asked to contact the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office at 253-2777. Brunswick County Commissioners have agreed to move forward with the upset bid process for selling the facility that housed Brunswick Community Hospital for more than 3 decades. Last month, commissioners decided a reasonable purchase price for the 35-year-old hospital and the 32 acres of land on which it sits was about $2.5 million. So far, commissioners have only received one bid during the 45 days bids were solicited, and at $500,000, it was considerably less than what they had hoped they'd get for the facility. Crown Management Group, LLC, has submitted the only bid with plans to convert the hospital into either an acute care psychiatric facility or a residential psychiatric facility. County Manager Marty Lawing has suggested that commissioners move forward with the upset bid process, to which they all agreed during their last meeting, which was on December 19th.
Brunswick County Commissioners have revised a policy which previously allowed for someone who worked for the county for as little as 1 year to retire with full health benefits. At their December 19th County Commissioners meeting, Brunswick County Human Resources Director Debbie Barnes presented commissioners with two options to revise the policy. The approved revision amended the eligibility requirements to 10 years of continuous credible service with Brunswick County or 15 years total credible service. Read more about these stories and much more in this week's Beacon, available on newsstands now.
All conference selections lead this week's Beacon Sports Report. 6 West Brunswick High School football players were selected by conference coaches to the All-Waccamaw Conference first team. They are Jamar Bethea, who averaged just over 5 yards a carry for 705 yards. Taylor Buffkin averaged 6.5 yards per rushing attempt and also gained a team best 1,012 yards. Billy Bopes had 42 tackles in 8 games. Cameron Smith kicked 35 of 40 PATs. He scored 50 points, second most of the season. Hunter Howard had 29 tackles in 7 games. He intercepted 1 pass. And Darius Williams had a team best 62 tackles in 8 games. 2 West Brunswick High School volleyball players were also selected by conference coaches to the All-Waccamaw Conference first team. Mary Morgan Inyans had a team-high 109 digs. She also had 146 kills in 76 sets. She scored 172 points and served 34 aces. Jasmine Jackson had a team-high 333 kills in 76 sets. She scored 174 points and served 53 aces. She also had 124 blocks and made 90 digs. 4 West Brunswick High School soccer players were named to the All-Waccamaw Conference first team. Nick Carosa, a senior midfielder, scored 4 goals and had 4 assists. Scotty Melvin, a junior forward, scored 18 goals and had 11 assists. Cody Postich was a sophomore defender on the team that allowed for 4 goals in its last 6 conference games. Josh Upchurch, a senior goalkeeper, made 108 saves for 76%. The First Tee of Brunswick County reports a great year with the addition of new programs and events. The chapter grew in numbers of kids, volunteers, and donors. 2 new full-time employees also came on board. The expansion of their home golf course is ongoing and strong, and every golf course complex in the county is on board to help the chapter.
Happy holidays.
Hi, Laura. Same to you.
Who have we got here today?
Well, this is Noel and Leon. They're brothers. And if you look at their feet, these are polydactyl cats. They have lots and lots of extra toes. They're brothers. They're about a year old. They've been together their entire lives, so we'd love to get these 2 adopted together. This one is a long-haired black, but he has a silver undercoat, so when the wind blows, his color changes.
He's beautiful.
And this one, the beautiful blue color, very dark, very shiny, gorgeous cat. Both of them are very friendly. They're a little frightened now because they're new to our shelter. Their owner had to move overseas and couldn't take the cats with her. So we took them. And we're looking for a home for them, preferably together, but if they have to be separated, we just want a real good home for them. They're here at Cattails, and we're open on Wednesdays from 11 until 1, and we're open on Saturdays and Sundays from 11 to 3.
Winners of the Children's Brunswick Life Photo Contest have been announced. First place went to Colin Winslow, 10 of Leland, for his photograph called Lazy in Leland. Second place was awarded to Callie Jarvis, 12, of Ocean Isle Beach, for her photograph Sleepy Turtle. And third place went to her 10-year-old brother, Barry Jarvis, for his photo Oh Dear. There were a total of 17 entries into the children's division. Don't forget to drop by the Beacon and pick up your 2012 calendar filled with images from this year's contest. You can find winning entries on this week's Tide page. Doctors said she wouldn't be here to see a new year, but she proved them wrong, and some are calling her a walking miracle. Fran-Solène Pelletier writes a religion column for the Beacon's Tide section each week. But there is much more to her and her hubby dear, Jean Pelletier, than what you see in the newspaper. Their story is one of faith, hope, love, and family. Pick up this week's Beacon to learn more about Fran and Jean and why he left the priesthood after 29 years in the ministry.
Have you seen this dog? Local animal advocates have been searching for Moo Moo, a Dalmatian mix who ran away from his foster parent more than 2 months ago in the Beach Drive area near Ocean Isle Beach. Though he has been sighted near local residences and businesses around the 4 Mile Road area, he remains elusive. He is growing thinner and has been injured either by another animal or he might have been struck by a car. He still has his red leash attached to his collar. If anyone can catch him, there's a $100 reward. If you see him, call 383-2100 or 754-3942.
She came because of charity and stayed because of the people. Dolores Brown began ringing a bell in front of Belk last holiday season. She returned this year despite an hour-and-a-half commute each way because she's grown to love the people here and they love her too. 12 hours a day, 6 days a week for 7 weeks, Brown gave out smiles, hugs, well wishes, and prayers. She feels compelled to help an organization that helped her as a child. Though she is not sure whether or not she will return next year, she says it's in God's hands and she has loved every minute of her time in Shallotte.
Plans are in the works for Calabash to host a public New Year's Eve bonfire and celebration in the seafood capital this coming Saturday night. Festivities are scheduled to launch at 8:30 p.m. Saturday, December 31st, in the Hurricane Fishing Fleet parking lot next to the Calabash River. There will be fellowship and light refreshments, as well as casting of messages in a bottle. Participants will write good wishes and place them in bottles that will be taken out to the Gulf Stream by the Hurricane Fishing Fleet. Festivities will continue until midnight. That's all the time we have for tonight, but you can read all these stories and much more in this week's Beacon. If you have comments or suggestions for us here at the Brunswick Beat, you can email us at brunswickbeat@brunswickbeacon.com. Don't forget to follow the Beacon on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search for the Brunswick Beacon.
Thank you for joining us, and don't forget to tune in next week for a brand new edition of the Brunswick Beat, Brunswick County's only television news show. We close this week's show with images of the holiday season in Brunswick County. Have a happy and safe New Year's, and we will see you next year.